Has gone, James. It ain't over yet, is it?
I'm not counting anything as certain yet, but Justin Wilson is getting close to the back of Ryan Dial. He is looking into turn 8. Ryan will try and take the outside line. Careful, boys. Contact. Ryan Dial in the wall. Absolutely tragic. He was running so well.
What a shame for Ryan. That was the battle for 3rd and 4th place. It's Justin Wilson taking over that position, and poor old Ryan just trying to ride it out around the outside. A little bit of contact between those two. I don't think you can really blame Justin Wilson for it. I mean, he was cleanly alongside, and you know, he knows Ryan Dial should know. Let's have a look at that again, James.
Yeah, as you come down on the braking zone here, the preferred line is on the outside. He is alongside, but I think, you know, Justin actually started to step out a little bit there, so maybe he carried a little bit too much speed. On board with Justin, dives down, he's alongside. You can see he turns in early, and then the back end steps out, kind of slaps Ryan Dial. And my only point on this, Jeremy, is that in a wet race, Justin knows that you can hold an outside line very well, because that's the preferred line. And when you go in side by side with the guy, you have to assume he's going to do that and make sure you give him the room. So I don't think obviously it was intentional, but I'm going to lay maybe 60-40 blame on Justin with that one.
That's fair enough. At the same time, of course, Ryan Dial, he's on the outside line. He can see that Justin Wilson is inside him, and you know, logically the inside line, that's a shorter line. Ultimately it's the preferred line, so in that position maybe Ryan could have just been, if he'd been a little bit patient, given up that position, he would at least come away with fourth place rather than ending up in the wall. I believe he was able to, well, I don't know, I'm not sure he has got going yet. So there is JD Wilbur. Is he getting the one signal to go? Yes, there's one lap to go now. So Will Power, less than 2 miles. There he goes. And in second place is Neil Jarney, but coming under increasing pressure from Justin Wilson. They're coming onto Lakeshore Boulevard for the final time. Can Justin Wilson get the power on? Neil Jarney is out of course with power to pass. Justin Wilson has one push left, we believe, assuming the telemetry is correct. And they're coming all the way down here, and Neil Jarney again protecting that inside line.
It's amazing that they're not calling this, because they said, despite the fact it's raining, you have to be inside that line, and he had 0 wheels anywhere near that line for 7/8 of it. So I'm not sure what Champ Car's final ruling is on this, but the lap is not over. Justin Wilson is hounding down on the final lap of the Steelback Grand Prix of Toronto.
The one mitigating factor there for Johnny was perhaps that Wilson wasn't quite close enough even to make a pass if he'd wanted to down in turn 3, but now just 3 or 4 corners to go for Will Power and Team Australia. It's been a great afternoon for him. This is a battle for second place, Neil Jarney and Justin Wilson. I don't think there's room now to make a pass. 2 corners to go for Will Power, and the checkers will be waiting. Look at Justin, he's slightly wide. He can't make a move in the final corner, can he? As Will Power comes towards the line, and Neil Jarney just holds on to the front second place, but it's Will Power who comes away with a magnificent victory. He had that penalty yesterday, missed the final 8 minutes of that final qualifying session, but it's all come good for him today. Look at that jubilation in the Walker Racing Team Australia car. The Aussie Vineyards team has just done an exemplary job. Both cars have been quick all weekend long. They come away with a win for Will Power and a 4th place finish for Simon Pageant.
I think they're the only team that had both cars finish, and they came in here leading the standings in the Champ Car Canadian Triple Crown. They're definitely going to extend that, and Will Power has done his championship hopes a ton of good by winning here in Toronto.
Wow, this is going to have tremendous implications in the championship battle. Robert Dornbush actually made up a couple of positions at the end there. He was ahead of Alex Tagliani, and also as a result of Ryan Dial going off and losing a lap, Robert Dornbush moved up to 6th place. I reckon that's going to give him the championship lead heading towards Edmonton and the Rexall Grand Prix in a couple of weeks' time as we move across Canada to the western state of Alberta. But are the Champ Car officials going to have anything to say about it? This man doesn't care at all. Will Power, brilliant drive by him again. His 2nd Champ Car victory. But there, look at that Sebastien Bourdais. Is he disgruntled or what? And he is going to have a lot of words to say this time about Robert Dornbush. And while a lot of people felt he might not have been quite as justified as he would have thought last week in offering criticism of Robert Dornbush, this afternoon, no doubt about it, James.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jeremy. That was 100% Robert Dornbush's fault, and Sebastien It's unfortunate that Sebastian got taken out where Robert was able to continue as Will Power does donuts in the rain. He will be singing in the rain, no doubt, Jeremy. This is a fantastic result for him. His second win of the season. Neil Johnny second. His second podium of the season. His first, of course, coming 2 races ago in Cleveland. So a good bounce back. He had not been having a good weekend had Neil Johnny started 9th, and that was actually an improvement for where he'd been for the beginning part of the weekend. So Justin Wilson in 3rd, Simone Pagenaud 4th. Bruno Junqueira for Dale Coyne Racing rounds out your top 5, and that is the top 5 of the Steelback Grand Prix of Toronto.
Will Power pulls in after his victory lap, and he makes his way to victory lane. The photographers await, and so does Billy Camphausen, the terrier of the Jap Car World Series. He's been with this series since 1979 and barely missed a race at all, and he's always the first man to the driver and make sure he's got what he needs. Down to Cameron Steele with our victorious Team Australia driver, Will Power.
Definitely, and trying to get them all unhooked in here. The whole crew is here. Dave Faustino is here, the engineer. Dave, a great race today.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Will did a great job there. I mean, really came down to not making any mistakes, driving a really hard race, and just keeping it clean. And he did that, and he deserves every bit of this.
Well, as engineer, definitely stoked, and Will, wait for him to get out of the car. Will with that fist in the air. Will, great race today, overcoming all the adversity, brother.
Yeah, race. Man.
Trying to get up, throw the fists up. To the victors, the spoils. Hey, Will, the way the week started out, Will, would you have thought you would have came home with that?
Pardon?
I said, with the way the weekend started out, would you have thought you came home with that?
Oh man, I just drove so hard because we've just had so much bad luck in the last few races, so I didn't care. I just went hard, and the car was good in the wet. It was also good in the dry. Went a lap longer than everyone, so yeah, stuck it to him.
Solid effort by Will Power today, going for his 2nd win on the season.
Good bit of Aussie terminology there from Will Power. Jubilation, and well deserved. That was a great drive. So look at the unofficial results after the Steelback Grand Prix of Toronto. Will Power, his 2nd win of the year. Neil Johnny's 2nd podium finish for Red Bull and PKV Racing. Justin Wilson comes away with another podium, and there Bruno Junqueira, a great top 5 finish for Dale Coyne Racing. Ryan Dalziel, after a great drive in the latter stages, has to settle for 7th. Sebastian Bourdais, his 3rd DNF of the season, and that is going to be costly. I reckon he's going to be down to 3rd place in the championship standings, heading west to Edmonton. Oriol Servier, he had a great early part of the day until he made a couple of mistakes. Graham Rahal, ditto. Dan Clark tried to brave it out on slick tires in the wet. That didn't work. And as most of those other guys and girls, Catherine Legg, out on the very first lap. It's certainly been an eventful race, and Cameron Steele is with our 2nd place finisher.
Well, Neil Johnny coming with his best performance of the season. You've been on the podium once, but in 3 races, 2 podiums. You guys are on a bit of a roll.
Well, yes, it's slowly going upwards after a dreadful season start, but slowly we're getting back, and I hope we can continue and keep that roll going on.
How tough were the multiple surfaces out there? The concrete looks so slippery.
Well, it was my very first race on a street course in wet, so that was quite an experience for me, especially with tarmac, but it was really slippery.
Right on, there you have from Neil Johnny.
Yeah, his 2nd top 3 finish in 3 races, his 3rd top 6 finish in a row. That's the unofficial standings after 7 races. And Robin Dornbosch apparently will take over the championship lead, a 2-point edge over Will Power. Sebastian Bourdais, he got 3 bonus points this weekend, 2 for qualifying on fastest in each of the 2 days, and 1 for fastest lap of the race, but still trails by 3 points now. Justin Wilson, Bill Stevens.
Wing of that Magnus car, but you know, it's really a shame. I think we had a great day on the dry, and it was a good show, and you know, when the rain came out, I just wasn't quite willing to risk it all, and Justin passed me and Will passed me. You know, just congratulations to Will, drove a great race. And then Robert made a small mistake, and that had big consequences. I know he's probably didn't done it on purpose, but it's a shame for the championship.
It sure is. Thanks a lot. All right, let's go to Michelle.
Dial, what an unbelievable day for you. Let's be truthful about that. Up until the very end, talk to me about what happened with Justin out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously conditions were difficult for everybody. I'd like to thank Pacific Coast and Sun Media for being on our car this weekend. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. We've had a lot of up and downs, but the rain always evens everybody out, and we were running strong. I think the restarts hurt me. I think when I was out front, I was fine, but honestly, I think a little bit of impatience from one of our veteran drivers. Shame Justin's a friend of mine, but I thought it was a disappointing move.
All right, well, congratulations. Back to the booth.
Yeah, certainly disappointment there for Ryan Dalziel. He had that incident with his fellow Briton, Justin Wilson, and he has to make do with a 7th place finish. He was on for perhaps for a podium. Let's have a look at the unofficial standings after 2 races out of 3 in the Canadian Triple Crown. And Team Australia now a commanding lead with average finishing positions for each of the team drivers. 3.0 for Team Australia. R Sports in 2nd place with 6.0, and Newman House Lanigan Racing in 3rd place. And they would certainly have been set, I think, for 2nd, if not for that late incident involving Robert Dornbusch and Sebastian Bourdais. But James Hinchcliffe, what an event we've seen this afternoon, huh?
It's been a fantastic event, full of action and full of some great driving. This one really tested the drivers, and congratulations to Will Power on a brilliant drive.
And my thanks to everybody for joining us today. Thanks to James Hinchcliffe, our pit lane reporters as well. My name is Jeremy Shaw. It's been an eventful day here in Toronto. We're going to do it all again in 2 weeks' time at the Rexall Grand Prix of Edmonton for the next round of the Chap Car World Series.